Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is a topic of how to make good fight scenes. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about um fight scenes for short range combat, like whether it could be hand to hand or using a weapon and stuff. That's what we'll be talking about today, and eventually make a part two where I'll be talking about how to do it for long range weapons. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to how to make a fight scene, whether punching or kicking or using a weapon like a spear or sword or something, you might be surprised to realize that it's actually quite easy to understand at a fundamental level, to the point that anyone can get started doing it. And the reason why I say that is it simply comes down to the fact that to make a fight scene, let's just use swords as an example for this video today, but the same dynamic applies to hand combat. But yeah, I'll just use swords as an example for this video, is that there's only four fundamental main directions you can make a weapon go in, okay? That is the truth of the matter when it comes to creating a good fight scene, okay? There's left, there's left diagonal, there's right diagonal, there's vertical, and there's horizontal, okay? So about four main directions, okay, if anything. And even though it doesn't have to be specifically that, there's also exceptions, like obviously you can obviously take into consideration obviously an upward um right diagonal and upward left diagonal strike. For the most part, to keep things simple, for this video, since obviously this is probably going to be watched mainly by beginners, we'll just say simply there's four main directions, okay? So when it comes to creating your own fight scene, as I was saying before, for using a sword as an example for this video, okay, the simple truth of the matter is all you really have to do is create your own combination. Let's just say you have to do 10 sword strikes, okay? 10 sword strikes for that matter, for for like your practice regimen, okay? I'm going to say I'm going to do 10 sword strikes, okay? You can obviously say I'm going to do one left diagonal strike, three horizontal strikes, um one upward right diagonal strike, one horizontal strike, um, and maybe the rest of them will just be left diagonal strikes or something like that. Okay, that is the truth of the matter. That's all you have to fundamentally do to get yourself started. It's actually really easy. You might be surprised with how well you do, even if you're someone who doesn't, well, let's be honest, might not have the most confidence in yourself doing this type of stuff, okay? It's actually surprisingly very easy to get started doing sword scenes, okay? As long as you are practicing regularly, trust me, my friend, you will be amazed at how well you do. Especially if you're someone who is writing a story and you want to create of course at some point you want to, of course, more like create your own animated storylines. One of the best things I could definitely undeniably say you would probably want to do is learn how to create sword scenes, okay? Because it's very simple and straightforward, and it can definitely give you a massive confidence boost. Because I think one of the biggest problems with story writers, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's true or not, is just feeling like they're actually doing something. Because anyone can write something down on paper, but there's a difference between writing something down on paper and actually, well, doing it in real life, okay? But learning how to come up with sword ideas is actually very, very, very easy to do. Even if you're not directly creating it, you can actually develop your understanding of it regardless anyway, or whatever the case of the matter is. The point here is that if you're writing a story, most likely it's going to have action scenes, and not just action scenes. One of the types of action scenes it's probably going to have is, no surprise, sword action scenes, or any type of short range, long fighting scene for that matter, to sum it up in general. So using the tips I'm giving you right here will make it easier. So definitely keep that in mind if you want to become good at sword fighting. Just work on the very basics, and sooner you know it, you'll be very good at making your own sword scenes, okay? The best way to do it is to probably just simply start off with the very basics, like I mentioned. Keep it simple. Don't try too hard. For that matter, to be honest with you, just off with like what you're doing now. like if you're following what I'm saying for the video, just keep it simple, and over time your skill will naturally improve. I know there's more to it than that, and I'll get to that eventually for some of my future videos. But for now, that's the main thing I want to discuss, is that there's just four fundamental directions that you can do a strike in, and you just develop your ability to understand how to, of course, no surprise, create your own combinations for it. Because that's all it really is. It's just creating your own combinations. You just have a certain amount of sword strikes, maybe up to 10 or 15 or even 20, and you create your own combination for it, for that matter. That's all you really have to do. Create your own combination, okay? You might say, if you're doing 10 sword strikes, I'm going to do 3 left diagonal strikes, I'm going to do 1 upward right diagonal strike, I'm going to do 1 vertical strike, I'm going to do 3 horizontal strikes, and I'm going to do maybe like um 2 left diagonal strikes. Like, that's an example of how to create one, okay? That's the best way to get yourself started, so you can make everything a lot easier for you, and doesn't have to be like blood, sweat, and tears, God forbid, for that matter, to be able to create a fight scene. And that's the honest truth of the matter, okay? So that is, definitely something you want to take into consideration, specifically if you want to become really good at creating fight scenes. So that is definitely something I have to say. And that's all it is to fight scenes, okay? And the same dynamic, of course, even though, as I said before, sword fighting is the main example I'm going to be using for this video, this same dynamic can also be used for punching and kicking, it's like hand-to-hand combat, okay? There's only so many directions you can move something in. Whether you're doing a punch, you can do it left, you can do it right, you can do it as an uppercut, so that's going upward. You could do it to the side like this, for example. I don't know what they call that for boxing, but either way, you get the point. Like, there's 4 fundamental directions you can do every single punch and for kicking, it's the exact same thing. Okay, so in short, understanding the 4 fundamental directions is one of the most important thing. Okay, and if there's anything else to say, of course, I forgot this one, but anyway, you can also understand this one is also thrusting, which of course for sword fighting, of course, means just, in other words, stabbing. Okay, so that's all you really have to do. Okay, those are all the skills you have to do if you really want to become good at learning how to create sword fights. Okay, and let alone hand-to-hand combat. Okay, those are all the fundamental directions you can make a sword scene go in. And even for hand-to-hand combat, it's the same fundamental dynamic, and not just for sword scenes if using a weapon, but for any other type of weapon you're using, whether it could be a spear, whether it could be obviously maybe an axe, whether it could be maybe a pommel or something, or like one of those metal objects that they used to ram against people and stuff. It could be any of those things, any weapon you can imagine. Those, as long as it's short range, those are all the 4 fundamental directions you can move it in, as well as, of course, the stabbing motion of it. And that's all you have to do if you really want to create good fight scenes. Okay, so anyway, this is my video. This is all to say, and I hope you learned something new. If you're interested in learning how to create fight scenes for something, whether you just want to become good at making fight scenes this as an animator, or you want to, of course, make fight scenes, of course, because you want to make your own storylines. Whatever the case of the matter is, this should be very helpful to you, and this is very good information if you want to become really good at, of course, a skill for that matter. Okay, so anyway, you know, this is my video. This is all I have to say. And simply put, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs the video up and hit the subscribe button. And that is all. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.